Welcome to the Plus 3 podcast. It is August 11th, 2018. Wait,
Is it?
Is it 2018?
Are you sure about that?
Or is it 2019? I'm Jonathan, your host for today, and I am with two other great gamers. And one of them is named Christina. Christina, say hello.
Hey guys.
That's it. And then the next guy I am with, my best friend, my home bro, Evan, Zima92. Say hello.
Hello.
The podcast that we do, we talk about reviews of video games that we played throughout the week. We talk about games that just got released. We talk about news, stuff that's going around in the video game industry, and also just random stuff like new music, aka Slipknot just came out with a new album. But yeah, that's what we do. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And we'll start off right now with asking Evan, how's your day?
Oh, my day is good. I'm a little hungry. But it's good. I got lots of sleep last night.
That's good.
Played lots of games last week.
It's good. I'm actually really excited to hear your games.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about my games that I played.
I'm really excited. Christina, are you excited?
I am excited, yep.
Are you?
I guess I'll start off with the games that I played. I started playing a game called The Evil Within 2. And it was released on October 13th, 2017 and developed by Tango Gameworks. The sequel to the original game, The Evil Within. And it's set 3 years after the original game. This game is really good, by the way, guys. It's super, super good.
Okay.
It's a survival horror game played in the third-person mode. And you play as a guy named Sebastian who must descend into the world of a union to rescue his daughter. So basically, in the first one, you went into this weird machine and everything was happening. You'd like hallucinate and some weird shit would happen, like all these monsters and everything. It was like a separate world. It kind of reminded me of like the what's it called in Stranger Things, the upside down world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that in a sense. But yeah, this game, from what I played in the first one, and then you go to the second one, man, they've added a lot of cool stuff. Like the levels are not really linear. It's more open world now. So you basically have more areas you can like search for loot and everything like that. But the game is really hard, especially at the beginning. You have no resources or anything like that. You start off with a pistol like usual, but you don't have a lot of ammo. So the whole game, like you start off with like a bunch of monsters in this area, and the skill that you should be using during that mode is, or during that level, is just stealth. Which, Evan, I think you just told me that stealth was in the first one.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge thing though. Like you didn't use it a lot. It was more just if you go into a level, there's going to be monsters and stuff already there. You just have to make sure you don't get noticed by them. There's not a lot of stealth mechanics to the first one.
Yeah, and I think they added a lot more stealth in the second one, which is fine. Like I love stealth, so I usually try to play as much as I can in stealth mode. But yeah, you start off the game with just pure stealth, like no ammo whatsoever for your pistol. But the cool thing is like there's side missions now. So instead of just doing the whole main mission, like going to like point A to point B, because the world is like the levels are way bigger, you'll find like small side missions that you can go to and like find, better resources. Like I found like a piece of like a sniper rifle, and then you like go on a radio and it like you overhear someone saying like, yeah, I got like the other part of the sniper rifle, and then it goes on your mini map. So you can end up going, if you want, you can go there and pick up that other piece, and then be able to repair and then have a sniper rifle if you want, or you can just go straight to the main mission. But yeah, the game as of right now, from what I've played, is best played stealth. Like I said, it's super hard. Ammo's really scarce. Like I try to play it as much as I can as stealth. You can craft a bunch of ammo you can also like level up your guns too. So all that stuff, all that usual stuff that you can do in games. But the cool thing about it is like it's kind of like The Last of Us, where you can just craft whatever you have in your inventory. But then also, if you do that wherever you are, it uses more of the resources that you've collected. So let's say you want to craft like pistol ammo, you would use like double the amount of resources. So you can either use like do that, or you can go to a crafting station, which then uses just a regular. So like if I wanted to craft, if I was in a rush and I needed to craft like pistol ammo, I would use double the amount, which is like the normal amount would be like 2. Like you'd use 2 of your resources, but if I did it like anywhere, it would cost me like 4 resources instead. So it kind of makes you like wonder like, hey, should I do it right now, or should I wait for a crafting area or like a workbench that I can get to? Like, is there one close by? So it makes you kind of like think more. But if you're like in desperate need of ammo, you just do that. But I don't really think you had that in the first one. I can't remember.
I'm trying to think. No, nothing like that. It was really just like make sure you look around the levels and just get whatever you can, because there's not a lot.
Yeah, and I think also too the game kind of helps you in a way. Like if you're running really low on ammo and you like find a box, it will give you, you know, a certain amount of ammo, so you're not like running around with just a knife. But yeah, and then you also level up your character. You collect the green gel that you collected in the first one, and that's basically the experience points. And then you can level up, you know, your skills with like the stealth, your combat, your health, your stamina, the recoil on your pistols, or how fast you can load your pistol, stuff like that. Yeah, it's a really cool concept, with like the machine that you put on your head, and then there's also, Evan, I don't know if you remember this, but in the first one you were able to collect keys and then open up lockers, and they would give you random stuff like health, or you remember that?
I don't remember. No, I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah, they're like these like secret these like statues that you like find around the level, and if you break them, they'll it'll open up and give you a key, and then you use those keys to open up the lockers. But I think the lockers are all randomly generated, so it's not the same. So you can't go online and be like, oh yeah, where's the best locker to open up with a key? I think it's completely different for each person.
It's good.
Yeah. And then the visuals in the game are really good. You could tell that I think they're using like not an upgrade, but like they're using the engine that they use for like Doom and Wolfenstein. It's called the STEM engine. So I think it's like a modification for the Evil Within 2, but it looks way better than the first one.
Okay, yeah, the first one was pretty good for its time. Yeah.
And then just the game itself, like playing with headphones and in the dark, that's just the way to play it. Like I've tried to play it played it with like during the day and stuff, but it's not as scary. It's just like, you know, it doesn't, you have to get like in the mood for it, and like, you know, turn down the lights and start playing it.
Is it scarier than Dead Space?
Is it scarier than Dead Space?
Because I can't deal with games like that where it's solo and linear. It's things just pop out. Like Dead Space was scary. Evan, did you play that?
No, it's one of the ones I have to play.
Oh,
that's good.
It's hard too.
I think Dead Space has more jump scares than Evil Within 2. The Evil Within 2, the way they make it really scary is like they'll have those moments where you'll be running down a hallway and then you'll see something like run across at the end of the hallway really quickly, and then that kind of scares you. But the thing that makes it way scarier is the sound, like the atmosphere, the sound that they use. Like
the monsters look pretty gnarly
yeah,
too.
the sound of the monsters too. Like you can like hear them, and then you're like, and then you kind of like realize what what monsters makes the certain noise, and you're like, fuck, like that's gonna be a scary one. Like there's one that I'm always petrified to go near to, because like it will, like if it sees you, it will just like do this random like weird run towards you, and it will call all these other enemies towards you, and it instantly makes all your stamina go low, so you can't run away or anything, so you're just kind of fucked for like a bit.
So it's pretty much like a screamer.
Yeah, But the atmosphere, like, and with using the sounds, like when I was playing it the other night, I could hear like this knocking noise on a wall, and I actually thought it was someone in the condo knocking on the wall. So I like took my headphones off. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then like I would put my headphones back on. I could hear it again after unpausing it. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I don't know what the fuck it is. And then I realized it's part of the game, and that's the cool part of it, just the atmosphere and everything like that.
Yeah, I like shit like that.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I'm gonna keep on playing it. I'm like maybe on chapter 5, I believe. So I don't know how many chapters there are, but the whole concept of the game is you're going back into this machine and you're trying to find your daughter, and she is like the core of the machine. And there's a psychopath in this world that's kind of obviously stopping you from trying to find her. And I don't really know much of the story yet, but from what I've played, it's super fun, and I'm definitely gonna
Do you think it would have been more scary if it was in first person?
Well, that's another cool thing that you mentioned, that is because they updated the game with a bunch of updates, and it added the first person mode to it, so you can actually play the game in first person mode.
Oh, that's cool. Did you try that?
No, there's certain areas in the game that will turn the third person perspective into first person, but I haven't played the whole whole area of the game in just first person. But I think it would be really cool to just try it out and see how it is in first person mode. But yeah, that's it for Evil Within 2.
I have one question about that game.
Sure.
Is the character still like a macho, like it was really dumb in the first game? Like it sounds like a typical like of this style of game, but the hero like wasn't phased by anything. That really bothered me in the first one. Like really crazy shit would be happening around him. He was like, all right, gotta get out of here. Like, like nothing even really bothered him.
Because they're trying to make a cheesy, like, badass, nothing. He has no fear.
Yeah, like any of the Resident Evil games, they don't. None of the heroes really have any fear. I find that kind of dumb. I'd rather see them be freaked out and shit.
Yeah,
well, if you had fear, you wouldn't really make some of the decisions that you do make in that game.
Yeah. No, he does have more of like you could tell like they worked on the character. Like he is kind of spooked out in certain areas and stuff, but there's also those times where you're like, dude, I'd be shitting my pants right now if that happened. Like,
I wouldn't be able to go through that. I think I would just shoot myself.
I think most people would. Yeah, most people would.
I would probably die either of a heart attack or just shooting myself, or tripping and dying or something. I don't know.
But like another thing too with the voice acting in the first one, I remember it being really like just not that great. And they've obviously worked on it for the second one, but there's still areas where you're like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell's wrong with this? But
yeah,
overall, the game is like 20 times better than the first one I found. But the sad thing is the game did so well, like for reviews and everything, but the game just didn't sell as much. So I was looking up online, and people were like really wanting a third one, and
already
they didn't. I guess it maybe ends on a cliffhanger. I'm not too sure. I didn't read the article because I didn't want it to spoil anything for me. But I just overheard that people were saying that it didn't sell as much as they wanted. But you never know. Like down the road, in a couple of years, maybe they'll do it. And it's a great game. Definitely a good game. It's the guy who made. Oh yeah, for sure. The guy who is the guy who made the game is the one who made the first Resident Evil.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, he was the director on the early Resident Evil games.
Yeah, so yeah, you could tell too. Like it's just so good.
Maybe that's part of the reason why the hero is like super macho and nothing affects him, because that was a typical Resident Evil thing.
Yeah.
The only time that changed was with Resident Evil 7, where Ian's actually like scared of shit and you hear him react to stuff.
Yeah. Overall, the game's really good. You guys should check it out whenever you guys get the chance.
Actually, I should, yeah. Evil Within 1 is one of the last games that I beat front to back. I don't do that often.
It's good.
Yeah, it's
really... That's the thing, though. There's a lot of change to it, too. Like, from the first one to the second. Like, the world, obviously, is a little bit more open world, so it adds more detail and more replayability, in a sense. You're not, like, just going from... But that's another thing, too. It'll take a little bit longer to beat, which is fine for me, but if you're super busy, then you're fucked.
Oh yeah.
And then the second game that I played this week is called Maximum Action. It's an indie first-person shooter created by George Medell and was released as an early access game on September 19th, 2018. It's a physics-based shooter that takes a lot of inspiration from the best game called Max Payne.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's great, man. You should check it out. And it also takes some ideas from like Hong Kong movies and stuff. This game is really cool. Like the concept of it, you could tell it's early access. There's a lot of bugs in it and stuff, but that's that comes with early access games. But it's the first person shooter, and the levels are scenes. So the levels only take like 5 minutes to complete. So you start at one end, and then some levels are started off in like a hospital, and then when you go through a level, like to open up the door, it starts recording, and the whole concept is just to get the highest score you can. So basically you run in, you can like do like when you jump, you dive in slow motion, you can start shooting people, you can like do like kicks, so you can like jump towards someone and like slow motion, and then like drop kick them in the face, and then that will give you a boost in the air to like jump off them and then just start shooting other people in the room. This is really fucking weird, but that's cool at the same time. It's just Max Payne. It's great. So yeah, you like combine all these moves, and then it adds more points to the level, and then once you get to the end of the level, that's it. Like you can either watch a replay of your character doing whatever, which is also it's super in alpha, so like the things that happen on your screen while you're playing might not even happen in the replay. So like there was one time where there was a guy laying down on the ground, and like I just shot him, but then in the replay it shows me pointing a gun at the floor, but no body is there. The guy that I shot was like outside of a window, and I just started shooting the floor. So it's just like definitely like work in progress, but it's a cool concept to do. And then the game has like a shitload of weapons, like from like AKs, silent pistols, shotguns, what do you call them? Like certain rifles from like the Western days, all that stuff. And you can like just pick them all up at the beginning of the level, or like you'll find them in the level, and you can like dual wield. So you can hold one in one hand, you use a pistol, and then the other hand you can have a shotgun. And then each click like on the left of your mouse will shoot the shotgun, and then the right click will shoot the pistol. So you have to like kind of like do that, like combine those together. So it's a cool concept. And then the game, the ragdolls in the game are fucking great, and like the gore is insane. And you just like shoot people's legs off, and there's blood everywhere, like spraying on the walls, and then they're like the ragdolls kind of remind me of like the endorphin engine, like the GTA and Red Dead. For some odd reason, they'll like start like holding their bodies and like start rolling around on the floor.
They're a bit animated.
Yeah, it's a bit like animated. The graphics kind of remind me a bit of remember Siphon Filter, where like the bodies are all like square based.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, they're kind of blocky.
They're blocky. It reminded me of like Siphon Filter and Half-Life. I got a really weird Half-Life vibe from it.
Half-Life 3 vibe?
Half-Life 3 confirmed. It's inside Maximum Action.
Oh. The graphics, like, are they? They're like low.
They're like low polygon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's on purpose, or like that's part of the art style.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the art style. What else can I say about this game?
Is it like a side scroller or like a third person, first person? What is it?
It's first person.
Okay.
So it's just a regular first person shooter. And then besides the single player mode, which is just, I think it's like maybe like 12 levels, and they're super short. You can just finish them in like 4 minutes. There's also an endless mode. So you basically start off in a level and just waves of enemies just keep on coming in, and you just kill them all. And then the next wave comes in. And then also another cool thing is you can actually create your own levels with a level editor that they provided in the game, which is a cool concept. I just made like a small level, like it was like a hallway and then like a big room, and I just did it really quickly just to see how it was. It's super simple. Like everything's just built in there, and you can like share that on like Steamworks, and everyone else can play it.
Every time I hear of an option in a game like that, I wonder really how many people are using it. Like, who's gonna... So this game is an indie game, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's made by one person. So right off the bat, it's not going to be super popular on the store. But the guy goes as far as, okay, so first of all, let's make an endless mode so that you can just go into the levels and explore them.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, a level editor. Like, how it makes me think like how many people are going to actually use that. I certainly wouldn't. If the game is short to begin with, like just play the game, maybe play it a second time.
Yeah, but remember, it's in early access, so like the more updates that they release, like they'll probably have, obviously new levels, maybe new guns, maybe new modes. So I'm excited to see what they'll add to the game. But the only downfall with the game is that I noticed that I always kept on running out of ammo during the level, and like they expect you to be able to, pick up a new gun from someone, or like when you run over someone's gun, it will instantly pick up, the ammo. But for some reason, I just felt like I was always running out of ammo. Maybe I was just missing the guns on the ground. And then another thing too is when you find a new gun that you want, it kind of stops you in your tracks, where you have to throw your gun on the ground. So you have to hit a button and then be able to pick it up. And it kind of just slows down the pace. I kind of wish it was just like all the guns that you pick up are like in a wheel, and you could just choose, like kind of like Doom, where you can hold up to like 12 weapons if you wanted to. Instead of just like kind of throwing one on the floor to being able to pick up or whatever. But overall, like besides that little issue that I had and the bugs, like the small bugs that I found, game overall is pretty cool. I'm actually really excited to see what they'll add to the updates like in the future. So
yeah, cool.
But I was just excited to try it. Like I saw it on my wish list for a while, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. Like I heard a lot of good things about it, so I don't recommend you guys trying it. But if you guys are interested in it, do it. I'm down.
Yeah, maybe I'll probably just be thinking about the level editor the whole time.
Yeah. That's it for me for this week. I just played those 2 games. But Christina, I heard you have probably the best game to talk about.
Actually, yeah, it's in the celebration of Fortnite. So they just released season 10, and guess what? You can be a mech.
I like that.
Everyone hates it. They've kept it for even competitive play. I watched a little bit of Ninja, of course, on Mixer, use it, and like so many flaws. Like 2 people go in it, one person controls the rockets, the other person controls the actual mech, so jumping up, and you can melee people from up close. You can use your boosters to fly up and then smash down. It's just very slow, which makes sense because it would be totally unfair in a battle royale to like be able to like kill like 20 people around you in like 1 minute.
I'm guessing the mech gives you like way more health, or is it like
the mech itself
health?
Has its own health, and then when that's done, you get ejected out, and then you obviously resume.
Oh, what? You would think that if you were still in the mech and they destroyed it, you would just die immediately.
No, you just get ejected out,
Oh,
and
that's
then
cheap.
while you're getting ejected out, other players can start shooting you, kind of thing.
Huh. That sucks.
So yeah, I mean, mechs. I love mechs, but in that type of game, it's kind of unfair, to be honest.
I feel like they're just throwing rain and shit in Fortnite now.
Yeah.
Why?
So I don't play Fortnite, so I was like, you know what? Let's check out something else. I saw an ad on Steam for a new release game that's called Metal Wolf Chaos XD. So this is a remaster of the original game from Software that was released on Xbox in Japan in 2004, and then later on was a North American release. So for some reason, this random game got a remaster, and Devolver Digital published it. And essentially, it's a Japanese anime set in North America, where you play as the president of the United States, who happens to have this giant mech that escaped the Japan, I guess, tech center there.
That's just
So you're pretty much fighting for your country by yourself as a president, and everyone's against you. So America's even against you as well. They don't want you fighting with the Japanese. Like, so not only are you fighting like the Japanese, you're also fighting the American army.
so wait, you're going
Sounds
against
really strange.
you're going against the United States, but you're the pret, so you're killing. Oh man,
I don't know. And you're going through like different states in America. So you go like through California and other states as well. Everything is mission based. So when you die, you just have to restart the whole mission again. So once you finish the mission, you unlock the next mission. But if you're stuck there and you keep dying, you cannot advance to the next missions. It's not something where you can just decide to play the last mission.
Yeah.
Of course, when you get to the end, everything's unlocked. So it's very simple combat system. When you're the mech, which kind of looks like a transformer, by the way, has funky colors on it. Like I think mine was purple and blue and white. You have your left arm and your right arm. So each arm has a multitude of weapons, including rockets, assault rifles, snipers, shotgun, pistols. And they only have a weapon tree that you have to manufacture. First, you have to get a blueprint, which you pay for. Then you manufacture it. And after you manufacture, you unlock it, kind of thing. So it takes a lot of cash that you need to collect during the game in order to get enough cash to unlock all these weapons. And once you do, there's really not that many. I think there's like 4 per category. So there's like 4 ARs, like 4 shotguns, 4 rocket launchers.
How do you collect the money?
By killing enemies, and then
okay.
some enemies or targets that you shoot down. They leave like a bubble that's either ammo or cash or whatever, like loot basically. So the whole game looks very poorly drawn. Like the art style is awful. The ragdolls are very limited. There's a couple of times where I'll like shoot a bunch of staircases and the enemies will just stay within the air and still shooting you.
Oh,
they won't ragdoll down.
I don't even think that game has ragdolls then.
Is this a 2D game?
No,
it's 3D.
Okay. If it came from the original Xbox, I think they just like use those animations where when they died, they would just like be floating or something.
Maybe it just has a lot of bugs.
Maybe.
But mainly this game is for the story. So it's very cheesy Japanese voice acting. The cutscenes are hilarious. I just enjoyed it. So if you enjoy the cheesy Japanese type style games, you'll enjoy this. And of course you're using a mech to kill everyone. It's pretty fun. When you go through the waves of enemies, you have to like kind of figure out what works. So when you want to shoot like large targets, you should be using your rocket launcher because it takes forever. That's the one thing I don't like about this game. To shoot down a tank with just an AR, it takes like 50 bullets. And then when you use your rocket launcher, it's like 2 of them. So you kind of sucks. Once you ran out of rocket launcher ammo, you're kind of stuck. Like there's one mission where I had to shoot down a whole building for what reason, I don't know why. And it took me like 10 minutes because all I had was AR ammo and sniper ammo.
Nice.
And like, how do you get the ammo though? Do you just collect them from like?
That's the thing. So you only get ammo at the end of your mission.
What?
Rarely do you get loot from killing stuff.
That's fucked.
Yeah. And the missions aren't very long. It's just, like I said, the shooting style, like it takes forever to shoot stuff. And then each tank or vehicle that spawned that is releasing enemies, if you don't shoot that vehicle, it just keeps respawning enemies. So you kind of are forced to kill whatever's around you. So it like takes forever. Yeah, I don't know. The combat's kind of boring. I mostly am just playing it for the story. And there's not very many missions, so I think it won't take me very long to beat.
Are you enjoying it so far, though?
Yeah, like it's okay. I can definitely tell it didn't age very well and that it's from 2004. They did add 4K support. They refined the controls. Apparently the save system was even worse before, and then they upgraded the visuals a tad, I guess. Also, I think I definitely prefer playing it on PC. Playing it on Xbox would just be annoying.
Well, once you start playing a game on PC, you never go back to consoles. Basically.
Except for my games, which I'll talk about later. But
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Mech's, it's cool. I mean, it's fun. It's not something that I would want to play for hours and hours. Just a short campaign. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. It's very cheap too. It's $28 full price. So later on, I bet you like for the next Steam sale, it'll be like $5-8 kind of thing.
Yeah. Any other games that you've been playing this week?
I played like the tiniest bit of Sundered because I've actually still been playing Rage 2. Still a great game. So Sundered is this indie game that I found on the Xbox Game Pass for PC. Came out July 28th, 2017. It was made by Thunder Lotus Games, which I'd never even heard of this company. And all the other games that they've developed, I haven't heard of as well. But this was an interesting game that I've played by them. It's a 2D platformer. Remind me kind of like rogue-like games, similar to Castlevania and Metroid.
Cool.
The game is beautiful, very dynamic visuals. But the things about these platformers are really, really hard. It's basically very brutal. Expect to die over and over and over again.
There's like a checkpoint system, sorry?
Not really, to be honest. And at the end of like each area, there's like kind of a little bit of a sub boss. But in order to kind of beat these sub bosses, you kind of have to start developing your special abilities. So at first you have like nothing really. You just have like one ability. Then you gain a shield. And then once you get over navigating and dying each time, you finally will be able to get enough to get double jump, be able to shift, so like kind of move quick out of the way from enemies. Your abilities are kind of unique. You have like something kind of like where you throw like a sword like weapon, so it's like a projectile that comes back to you like a boomerang.
That's cool.
There's secrets, of course. There's shortcuts around the world. Enemies are also quite weird looking, like odd creatures, and they really swarm you. So they can either like be crawling on the ground, they can be at your height, or they can be even flying, which is a bit annoying. Art style is very cool, very, very cool. Very like everything is from like, I guess, hell almost, like undead enemies.
Are the levels like are the levels kind of like from point A to point B, or are they kind of like Hollow Knight where it's just this huge level and you have to kind of figure out where you have to go and unlock like a certain ability to be able to reach another part of the world, or is it just like this is level 1, get from point A to point B, kind of like Mario or whatever?
Well, no, there is checkpoints, but of course if you die you kind of get backtracked quite a bit, especially if you're getting down to the end boss. You're pretty much backtracking like say like 10 rooms earlier. So it's like one of those games that you need to put a lot of hours into, and you have to be okay with dying over and over again. Like I said, I haven't played much of it, and there's like a skill tree. I actually have it popped open if John wants to look. It's insane how many abilities you can unlock with your skill tree.
Yeah, it's pretty big, but it doesn't get as big as Path of Exile.
Oh, definitely not, no.
Yeah, the game looks really cool from what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, the art style is really interesting. It doesn't get boring unless you find dying boring, but some gamers
really cool.
are really good at this types of games. Like some people purely play platformers, so this is definitely for those types of people that want to purely play platformers.
I'm pretty sure I got
I
got this game for a humble monthly sometime a couple months ago. It's in my Steam library. I just haven't tried it yet. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's it for me this week.
Still playing Rage 2.
Yeah, hopefully I
Still-
finish it and go on to the next game.
Still watching the ragdolls go flying. Evan, I know you've been a busy man. You've been
Busy
a
man.
busy man.
Busy man.
I heard that you were playing another, platformer.
I am, speaking of playing pure platformers, this past week I've been playing pure platform games. I've been playing 2 games actually. So I put in a lot of gaming time. Not usual for me, but so I have a lot to talk about. So, first one.
Good job, Evan.
Thank you. I know I'm becoming a true gamer.
Well, platformers are easy though, because it's not something that you would be putting like 20 hours into.
You can though, like it depends.
You could for sure, but to get a feel of it and kind of thing, you would.
You could
only
like turn
need,
it
like,
on,
5 hours.
play a level,
Yeah.
and then be like, all right, I'm done. It's not like a game where you're kind of like the Evil Within 2. You're like, okay, where am I? This is, and you're, engaged into the story and everything. This basically, you can just sign in, sign out.
Yeah.
And platformers usually don't really have much of a story to begin with.
But there's something I figured out this week since I've been putting all my time into these platforming games. They draw me in like no other game does. I'm not sure why. I just want to start by talking about this. Because remember, for years and years, John, you would remember this. Like, I'm always struggling to figure out what game I would actually put hours and hours into.
Yeah.
The closest thing to that, I think, would be platform games. And I thought about it. It makes a lot of sense because I grew up on the Tony Hawk series, which is, it's a skateboarding game, number one, of course, but it's also very much a platforming game. And it's, when I jump into, I also played Mega Man, like X4, way back in the day. I never got far. I was too young and too impatient to actually get good at it and beat it.
Yeah, those games are fucking hard.
Yeah, but there's a certain feeling to platforming games where it's just raw, like reaction time. It's like measuring your jump distances, and it's like dodging enemies at the exact time and all that.
It also measures your patience.
Yeah, for sure. Because one thing you do very often, as you said, Christine, is you die all the time in platforming games. You're constantly dying. But I like that because it gives you the approach of like just go into it, die, and learn what you just did and learn what not to do. And then you can feel it very quickly. You're building on the previous thing that you did. Like, I'll start off talking about the game Hell is Other Demons. That's what I was playing. I was trying to install and play another game on my laptop, and that game couldn't run. Well, it's the game we'll talk about next. So because that game wouldn't run, I was like, oh shit, I want to play some kind of platforming game. So I went on Steam, and then I found, I was looking at platforming genre, and I was looking at just like the newest newest trending games. And near the top, there was one called Hell is Other Demons, so I bought it. It's totally linear, so you're put into very small levels, like really small in size, and they just throw waves of enemies at you that get harder and harder. You're trapped in this little area, you're jumping between platforms and stuff. Like, the setup of the levels is basically like, think of like a Smash Bros level, where it's just like a couple of different platforms, and you just have to kind of hop between them and make use of the very small space you have. So it's super like suffocated. But it's a shooting game. So you have, right off the bat in the game, you have a double jump ability, and you have an automatic machine gun type thing where you could hold it forever and just keep shooting, which I feel kind of like meh about, because as soon as you put a gun into a platforming game like this, it's kind of like it's gonna force you to just jam on the gun anyway. And
the part of that about that, is it like kind of like Contra, where if you get hit once you die?
No, there's actually you can get hit 5 times right after that. So that's how they set you up. So you have you can double jump. You also have this ability to like, after you jump, keep holding the jump button, and you'll kind of like fall slower in the air. You have the machine gun, like I said, and you can also kill enemies by jumping on them like Mario. And the game actually, it gives you bonuses, like when you beat a level. It keeps track of how many tries you've done to try and beat the level. It keeps track of how quickly you beat it, your time. And it also gives you bonuses for whether you used any bullets at all because you can kill everything by jumping on it. But also there's another mechanic in the game where it's they call it the ultimate. I think it's called ultimate. Anyway, it's a power up you pick up in the game, and it's like just this giant like you hit the button and it blasts a huge laser beam that like covers the whole level or
So
a
it
part of
just
the level.
kills everything.
Yeah, but it's only a pickup, so you can't. There's no like charge up, and then you eventually like get to use it or whatever.
Yeah.
There's also health pickups in the games. Those are the two that I've seen so far. Is you just pick up health and you pick up the ultimate charge weapon thing. So aside from that, the gameplay is really raw. What you see is what you get. However, there is a small upgrade system. You can see the whole thing right off the bat. It's not like a skill tree or anything, but as you go through the levels, there's a think of Super Mario Brothers 3, where there's like an overview map of all the levels you can go to, and you have to kind of like go left, right, up, whatever. You unlock one level to get to the next. So one of the things is after you beat, I think, 3 levels, you can go to a store on the map, and the store is where you use the points you collect from killing enemies in the game. Use them to buy upgrades and stuff like that. So some of the upgrades you can get is like just you can get more health. You can make your gun shoot faster. You can make it shoot more accurately, because when it starts off, the accuracy is really off and the bullets like go not in a straight line.
Yeah.
Like think of like a Contra. It's the same kind of thing where you just hold the button and it's just shooting in a straight line. It's a side-scrolling game, so.
While you're talking about this, I'm kind of getting a feeling of a game called Downwell.
Actually, yeah. So I was going through the Steam list and I saw that in the previews, and it does look similar to that game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
From what you've been saying.
I think the setting is similar too. Downwell. I think it's like a hell setting.
I only played like maybe 5 minutes of it on the PlayStation Vita, but it was a cool concept from what I've played.
Yeah, well, this game, what's really anyway. So I'll go back to the upgrade system. There's like smaller upgrades that just improve what you have. Then there's also major upgrades that like I didn't look at all of them, but there's one that gives you 2 guns that shoot in opposite directions. So basically, instead of you just shooting in one direction, you have one shooting left and one shooting right.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, you have like other major upgrades you can do to your jumping. Like you can probably do a triple jump. You can make your ultimate weapon, like you can use it twice or something. Anyway, I don't remember. I tend to try to avoid upgrading as long as possible in these types of games because I like to just try to beat it with the raw gameplay mechanics that they give you. And the game rewards you for that too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I see it as a bit of a competition. The only thing I've done so far was I upgraded my health bar to like 1 extra, and then I also gave my main gun the accuracy upgrade, so it shoots a bit faster and shoots it more in a straight line. But yeah, the art and the music they're sick. They're awesome. So it's kind of like a synthwave style. Like you talked last week about 1980X.
Yeah.
So it has that kind of a vibe to it. Like it's a pixel graphics game, but it has like an 80s punk feel to it.
That's cool.
Like when you start off the level, it puts on like really sick synthwave music, like Stranger Things style.
Yeah.
And then like the font that they use to like say, oh, level 1, and then they have the name of the level and it pops up there. The font is just like the 1980X kind of stuff.
I love cyberpunk shit too.
Yeah, so
that's the type of style.
Yeah, so it is like that, but it's not a cyberpunk setting so much. It's more like you're in hell, and then there's just demons. There's no technology and stuff. I think the only technology you have is like your weapons and all that. But it still has like the synthwave soundtrack where it's like that kind of stuff. It really makes it a lot more fun. And
you know what's crazy though?
But
sorry to cut you off, but every week I've played a game that's all pixelated, and for the first time ever, Evan, you're the one that's playing a game that's all pixelated.
That's right. I guess it got me thinking, listening to all the games you're talking about. I was like, wow, I should dive back into that style.
Yeah, that's cool.
It just, not because of the pixel graphics so much, but just because of the kinds of games that you can make when you're limited to pixel graphics, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, So I'm not very far through it. I think I'm about 1/3 done. I've put about 4 or 5 hours into it. And it's starting to be at the point where I'm dying a lot. I just got past the first boss. And yeah, the way the boss was introduced was really cool. They made it really creepy. The sound is great in this game.
So you think now that you're dying a lot, you'll probably have to upgrade a little bit?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
And
that's usually the case.
Yeah, I really like platform games for that the ones that do have upgrading systems, because your upgrades have much more purpose to them. Like if you're dying constantly, they make it they stretch you just to the very edge. They don't give you a lot to use to beat the game with. So I like that a lot. Your upgrades kind of become necessary. It's not you sitting there at the beginning of a game, like you start off level 1 on an RPG or whatever, then you can see the whole tree. You're like, I think I'll take this path. I'll pick this one, and then at level 10 I'll pick this. No, there's none of that shit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you're struggling, and then you're like, okay, what the fuck? How can I make this easier for myself? Then you go through, and then you find the thing.
Would you say, Evan, that you get more satisfaction completing platformers as opposed to story-based campaigns?
No, they're different monsters for sure. Like, I much prefer story-based. Like, whenever a game depends. Whenever a game is based on the story and you can tell, and they give you less to work with, I get more satisfaction being the story games.
I think with platformers like this, for me, it's satisfying knowing that I took so long to beat this level and I finally did it. Kind of like Dark Souls, those types of games like Bloodborne, or even like what's that one ninja game that just came out, Sekiro, or something like that.
Shadows Die Twice or whatever.
Yeah, so like when you finally beat a boss that you've been on for a while or a level, it's satisfying. But I also agree with like the story based where you're.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, the story based games, I'm not thinking about my progress. I'm thinking about the story. So I don't feel satisfaction when I beat it. I just feel like, oh, that was a good story.
That you need to complete it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like platformers, like I put so much work into this, so many hours, and it like feels like you personally put so much into it.
It's discipline, yeah. You're like, fuck, I did a really hard thing.
I like it.
The instant satisfaction is really good in platforming games. I'm totally down for that.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing as Call of Duty, right? You get 3 kills in a match or whatever. You're like, cool, it's more kills than I had last time. But it's very quick, like instant gratification.
Sick, I got that UAV, finally.
Yeah, oh my god. I never ever get kill streaks. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So that was Hell is Other Demons. I think it's $11.49 on Steam. Relatively new. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. The vibe is very cool in this game. I guess it has a bit of a Castlevania thing to it. I didn't play too much of those games, but that's the same setting. But anyway, definitely worth checking out for the price.
What's the next game you're playing, man?
So the next game I am going to talk about is what I wanted to play originally, which is Mega Man 11. This game came out last year. I remember way back in the day, back in high school, when me and John found out Mega Man, I think it was 9. They had made all the Mega Man games up to 8, took a break for like 10 years or something, and then released 9 with the same pixel graphics and all that. It was the exact same game. I think it was the same director as all the previous Mega Man games too, so it was true to form.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was 9. They released 10 after that. And then the director left, I think, after 10. So a different director took over for Mega Man 11. And
yeah, he left and made Mighty Number 9.
Yes.
And that game was trash. That game was so bad.
Yeah. People were just like, why not just make a Mega Man game? Basically, what's what you're trying to do anyway.
It's crazy though, because he made Mighty Number 9 and everyone was like shitting on it, and then randomly Capcom's like, yeah, by the way, we're making Mega Man 11 or whatever game. So it's like everyone's like, yep, that's how Capcom takes on the competition.
Yeah. So about the game, it's the first Mega Man game to it's the first Mega Man game to be side scrolling but also 3D. So it's like a 3D cell shaded side scrolling.
So they don't even use the old graphics then?
No, they don't.
Okay.
So it's a mix of, it's like 2D environments with 3D Mega Man and 3D enemies, but it's cell shaded, so it's fine. It works. It works with it. The main thing that separates this game from the other games is there's a new mechanic called the double gear. Well, the double gear, what it does is it's like a cooldown ability that either gives you the ability to slow down time with everything around you, but you're still going the same speed, so you can shoot at the same speed. So there's the slowdown one, or there's also the power gear, which just gives you more damage. So
it kind of helps you then. It's like a booster.
I wouldn't be very far without it at all. Because there's certain situations, and they design the levels this way, like where you need, like there's like a system of conveyor belts in the level that I'm in right now. There's 9 stages, just like every other Mega Man game. And there's a bit of a story to it, but it's not super important, obviously. It's just a Mega Man game, whatever. But there's like conveyor belts where enemies are coming towards you, and you're also on the conveyor belt, and you're about to be pushed off with the enemy kind of thing. That's when it's important, for example, to use the, I can forget what is it, time gear? Yeah, let's call it time gear. So you use the time gear to slow down the time. So he's coming at you more slowly. You have time to kill him so that you can get past him. So they design the levels where you need to have it. Yeah, and it's super helpful in just regular situations too.
And do you get to choose, like in like the old Mega Man, where you get to choose the levels that you want to play first?
Yep, it's non-linear. So you pick whichever one you want to start off with.
Cool. And then you basically unlock a new suit every time you beat a boss?
I'm not sure, because I've been playing for fucking 5 hours on the one level I've been playing, and I still haven't beaten it yet. I just got to the boss just before we started the podcast today. So yeah, 5 hours in on normal difficulty. And there's only one more difficulty after normal, I think, but I'm not even going to bother trying it.
That probably doesn't even give you the time gear and shit. It'll probably just play like any other Mega Man.
Yeah, I think that's what it would be, because the time gear and power gear really help you out a lot. One thing I have a gripe about is the music is kind of meh, whereas in all the previous Mega Man games, the music was awesome. But in this game, it's just kind of, it sounds like they just put together a pretty standard synthwave soundtrack. Probably got some other guy to do it. Yeah, but it's one of those games where, you die a lot. There are checkpoints though, as I think other Mega Man games have. But it feels really polished. Like, I've been playing with an Xbox One controller, and that's what you have to do basically when you're playing a Mega Man game. Runs very well. The menu is kind of confusing though. Like, for a while I had to figure out how to actually change the graphics. But yeah, so far I haven't been able to get too deep into it, so I can't explain too much about the mechanics of the game. There's actually no Mega Man game that I've gotten right to the end of, because they're all very hard. And
Are you planning on beating this one though?
Yeah, I want to, because I like the pacing of it. Playing on normal, I like that it's taking me 5 or 6 hours to actually be able to beat one level. That's a good amount of time for me, because I wouldn't want to be just trapped on the same thing over and over for days and days and days and can't do it. So it's a good pace, and I imagine that the final level only gets harder, kind of thing. I think Hell is Other Demons is shorter, so that's another game I can see myself beating too. But yeah,
that's good.
Mega Man has really good controls for a platformer game, and Hell is Other Demons does not. So if there's going to be any reason I beat one over the other, is because of the controls.
So you said you're playing on PC. Are you playing with the keyboard and mouse, or just keyboard, or are you actually playing with a controller?
Controller for both games.
I wonder how hard it would be if you were playing with a keyboard.
I wouldn't even try it, just because it doesn't feel right when you're playing a platformer game, a side scroller. It just doesn't feel right to me. Yeah,
I remember playing Hollow Knight with keyboard and mouse for a bit, and then it basically tells you at the beginning of the game, like, yeah, we recommend you play with a controller. And then when I played with a controller, I was like, yeah, this is so much better.
The only thing I wonder if some company is going to do this. Maybe it would have to be PlayStation, I guess, but I want the D-pad back up. I want the D-pad to be where the stick is on the Xbox controller.
Oh yeah.
So if I had like a PS4 type controller, not the actual PS4 controller because it sucks, but if you had the Xbox controller and just moved the stick to where the D-pad is, on the left
Mhm.
side, then it would make it more enjoyable.
You
Does
could probably set up your PS3 controller.
Yeah, I
to
probably
your,
could. Probably could.
yeah.
There's a way that you can make it run as an Xbox controller, and it would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Mega Man 11 and Hell is Other Demons. It's
Hmm.
teaching me that apparently I really enjoy platforming games, and I'm surprised I didn't. I'm surprised I haven't been playing platform games more often, given my history with games.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear you finally beat your first Mega Man game.
Yeah. I feel like if it's going to be any game, it'll be this one.
It's good.
I was also playing Mega Man 2 on the NES Classic before, but it's too hard.
Oh yeah,
It's much
super
less
hard.
forgiving.
All right, guys, let's move on to the news. The news. It's another short week of news. Not a lot of going on, but there's a few articles that I have up to kind of just discuss with you guys. And the first one that I have, we were talking about, the creator of Resident Evil, who made Evil Within, but Capcom is now testing a secret game, and they've been releasing emails to a certain amount of people, and they are doing a testing for a new game, which might be maybe a new Resident Evil game, could be Resident Evil 8, or could be another remake of Resident Evil 3. Well, not another remake, but they remade Resident Evil 2, which was super, super good. Everyone loved it. And now everyone wants to see if they will remake Resident Evil 3.
You know what I prefer? Resident Evil 8. I'd like them to keep going.
In the first person mode?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that game was really cool. Either way, I'd be super excited to see if it would be Resident Evil 8 in the first person mode, or if they did Resident Evil 3. I'd still be happy. I grew up playing, the first 3 Resident Evil games on the PlayStation. So whichever one they do, I'd be super excited to see. But I want to know if they're going to announce it anytime soon. Is there any game conferences going on in August? I think there's
I'm not
one, right?
sure. Are there companies tend to do their own off season?
Yeah. Actually, they won't even announce anything in August because they are doing this secret testing for certain people in Los Angeles on September 20th and in New York September 23rd. So it would it would probably just be announced maybe next year at E3.
So is it confirmed that it's actually a Resident Evil game?
We don't know. I'm just speculating to see if maybe
it literally could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything, but it will. I feel like it is going to be a new Resident Evil game because they sent an email out to all the people who maybe signed up for the day, the mail for Resident Evil. When you sign up for new information about games and all that stuff. Like when you sign into Resident Evil 7, they always try to make you sign up for an account.
Yeah.
And they give you information. Yeah. So they sent all this super secret testing thing to all the people who signed up for that in Resident Evil. So
they're the RE.net. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a new Resident Evil game, but it's either Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil 3. Christina, what do you think? What do you want?
I enjoyed watching you play the last Resident Evil because it was quite scary. It's more horror. I mean, obviously every Resident Evil game is horror, but I don't know why the last one. It's just because the fact that the enemies were hard to kill and were coming at you, and there was a lot of jump scares, and the main guy, you couldn't even kill him.
Yeah.
And the game was so well done.
It's just like you're in a panic the whole time.
Yeah, it's great. I love those games where it's a suffocated setting and you
that's like Outlast. Oh god, that's the one game I cannot play by myself. I have to be in a group watching someone else play.
That game is good. Yeah, I'm excited either way. If they do, Resident Evil 8, hopefully they stick with what they did with Resident Evil 7. And I'd be really, really excited if they did that demo. So whenever they released or they were working on releasing Resident Evil 7, they did a demo, And there was not a lot in that demo. You know, there was some cool Easter eggs and stuff, and you'd go on Reddit and people would find all this cool stuff. And then every couple months they would update that demo and it would add a new area in the house, and you would, you know, replay that whole game, and then you would, or that demo, and then you would find that little area that they added, and you would find more clues, you know, more hints. It was super, super cool. And then whenever they did a last update, they like kind of showed a monster in that level, and it scared the living shit out of me. I almost kicked the TV off the table when at the time, because Christina and I were playing it, and Christina's like, "What the fuck? Like, what happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, this game's really scary. It's gonna happen." But yeah, then if they do Resident Evil 3 remake, I'd be really happy with that. They did really well with Resident Evil 2, so
they need to stop with the remakes. Like, it reminds me of Skyrim. Like, just stop.
It's not
Like,
even a
I
remake,
think
though.
everyone has access to every single Resident Evil game, whatever platform you play on.
That's good though.
Like, it's insane.
Next thing you know, they'll be remaking Resident Evil 4 and then re-adding that onto every single system. But
Oh my god.
that's in a couple of years. But yeah, I just want to see what you guys would think, or would think what they're gonna make, if you guys would wanted Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil 3. I don't know if you guys played Resident Evil 3 at all.
I did a little bit when I was younger. Again, it's one of those games.
Yeah, that had Nemesis and yeah. And then the next news piece that we have, it's you guys will not enjoy this, but I will love it. And basically, there's this development team that has been making the wrestling games for years now, called Ukes, and they are now officially done making games for 2K. They are now going to make their own game, and a lot of people are super pumped because all the wrestling games now, when you play them, they're just so many bugs. There's nothing new with them. The only cool thing about it is like the visuals. So I'm super excited for it, because they actually, whenever I was growing up, I used to play all the wrestling games like SmackDown and everything like that, and they were super arcadey, super fun. And now that they're completely out of the loop with 2K, I'm super excited to see if they're going to remake a game that's going to be more arcadey and less, you know, kind of what do you call it, like simulation. And I'm just super pumped for it. They have been working on a new type of animation and stuff like that for in-house, but 2K randomly will not let them use that. So finally 2K was just like, you know what, we're going to grab some other people to make these games. You guys can do whatever you want. So yeah, I'm excited for it. You guys probably aren't. But cool. A new wrestling game, might be arcadey, maybe a remake of SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. It'd be amazing.
Bring all the remakes on,
please. And then another piece of news that I want to bring up and, you know, talk to you guys about, but there is rumors surrounding a Bully sequel. And I don't know if you guys played the first Bully. Christina, have you ever played the first Bully?
No, it's a Rockstar game I haven't played.
Yeah, it's a
Rockstar game. I have not played it either.
Oh, really? You guys are missing out. A lot of cool stuff happened. Like, you'd go into school, you'd go to class and like level up if you went to class, and you could like sneak out and everything, beat up actual like jocks and stuff. But there's rumors that the game is going to be coming out in 2020, and it's going to be a cross-gen console release. So everyone knows about, you know, the new Xbox Scarlet, and then also Sony is going to probably announce their new system probably in November when they do their own conference. So I kind of want to see how this game will be with, you know, the cross gen, because you know how they did that with the PS3 and the PS4, where they, you know, they would release a game that would be like Dragon Age. Yeah. So I'm kind of tempted to see how it will be. But yeah, what do you guys think of that? Would you guys be excited for a new Bully game? Would it actually make you guys play the first Bully?
I'm still not really familiar. Like, what type of game is it? Like, first person? Like, was there objectives? Like, I'm not really sure what it is.
It's a third person.
Yeah, it's like a Grand Theft Auto style. The way that you play it, you run around as a dude.
Yeah, it's like person. Super small.
Is the story based on a previous like book or movie or? No,
so it's basically you get thrown into, your parents send you to this school, and you have to, you know, you're a newcomer, And from what I remember, I haven't played the game in years, but you would go to class and you would do like you would go to a science class, and that you would do, if you did a really good job in the mini game, you would, you know, be able to unlock certain things for your character. And then you can also sneak out of school and do missions, and you can like meet girl. I don't even know how to explain it.
So is it even worth making a sequel to?
Everyone really wants one. The first one's really good. The way that I'm explaining it is really bad. You would just have to play it. Is
it like kind of have a cult following? Is that why? That's usually, if it's like a cult game, then a lot of people want to play it.
Well, it's a new IP, and it's the only game they ever made of that IP. And I guess Rockstar doesn't do that very often, right? So
yeah.
But they've been working. Might think it's weird that they didn't make a sequel to it already.
Yeah, they've been working on this a sequel for Bully 2 for a while now, so it's finally, it might happen. I don't know. There's been a lot of rumors about it and a lot of like leaks and stuff like that. But
honestly, I would be surprised. I would be very surprised if it came out in today's day and age.
Yeah,
considering what you can do in the game and like all the anti-bullying stuff that's been put in place in society since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too. Whenever the first Bully came out, it got onto the news where they thought that the game would be all about, you know, your character bullying other people. So they were trying to like ban it from everything, and like Rockstar's like, just wait until the game gets released. It's the complete opposite. You're dealing with bullies in school, and like you're beating up the bullies, and it was just, and they thought like, you know, you would be able to like bring a gun into a school and everything like that. There's no guns whatsoever. It's ridiculous. But yeah, just check it out. If you guys haven't played it yet, I'd recommend it. It feels like a completely different Rockstar game.
Speaking of video game violence, did you guys hear about Donald Trump lately? Just blaming video games for all the people that are going and shooting up like schools, and what was a recent thing in Texas? Or no, the guy from Texas shot up a Walmart. Yeah. Blaming it on the fact that he played violent video games.
Well, they also brought up a thing where he was wearing a metal t-shirt, so they went after, you know, metal, saying that metal caused it, and the certain band that, you know,
it's anything but to actually take away the source, which is the guns.
Yeah.
Any excuse.
It's always a good idea to use studies from 1992 before they had science, you know.
Oh, that too. Yeah, there's no new studies. I mean, they made it a official diagnosis. What is it? If you're addicted to video games, that makes sense. But the fact that it would make you violent, there's so much violent stuff out there and content you can find on the internet. There's some crazy dark web stuff. Like, you really think video games is the reason why? I don't think so. Yeah. Those types of people shouldn't have access to guns, which that's the source, right? You should be thinking about eliminating guns, but you know, states do their own thing.
The last article that I have, the last piece of news that I have for you guys, Christina, this is for you. Take-Two sends investigators to a YouTuber's house to crack down on Borderlands 3 leaks. This guy, I guess, has been making videos for a while now, and somehow is getting information about, you know, the new Borderlands 3. And he's been talking about, you know, the new characters that you can try out, the weapons, just a bunch of stuff about Borderlands 3. And I just find it hilarious. Like, what if you were just making a video, you know, of information that you got, and then all of a sudden, like, just investigator just comes storming into your house and like just tries like super hard to just ask you where you're getting your information from, and like take your computer or anything like that. But yeah, like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
like this guy,
the guy could be doing it by accident, maybe, or he has no idea that the stuff he's learning is like confidential.
Yeah. But so I guess this guy was like, whenever he was giving out information, I guess people on Reddit kind of realized that he wasn't making any new videos for like 2 weeks or something, and he just eventually made a new video and released it, and it was explaining why he wasn't making any videos for the past 2 weeks. And he explained that Take-Two sent investigators to his place to figure out where he was getting the information and all that stuff. But almost all the information that he gives out in his videos are actually true. Like the 4 new playable characters, the radiation elements for certain guns, you know, the Borderlands 2 add-on that we just received, I think around E3 and like just character balances and stuff like that. But it's scary. Like no one really knows like how he got his information, so he must know someone that's in you know, the who's making that game. Christina, do you remember?
For what?
For Borderlands 3. It's not 2K.
2K.
No, they're publishing it.
Oh,
Gearbox, that's what it is.
there you go.
Gearbox.
That's embarrassing. I love Borderlands. I didn't even know who it was.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Who cares? That game's coming out in like September.
Yeah.
Does it really matter? Like they've already released so much content for it and basically showed every single character you can play as. Like what else?
It's gonna come out. People are gonna buy it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's on Epic, like, just it's gonna be such an intriguing game that it's gonna sell a lot. Borderlands 2 apparently is still selling millions. So people are like anticipating the next release.
But if this happened to you guys, do you think? So let's say you're really into Borderlands 3, Christina, and you were making videos about it, and you had information somehow, and you gave it out, and then they brought the, you know, private investigators to check your place or whatever, like just to just ask you questions, everything, and would you still be on board to purchase Borderlands 3 and
Oh, like would I boycott them or still support them? I would still support them. Like
yeah, you would?
I don't know. It's so stupid though. Like I wouldn't be leaking information about the game, of course. I think it's a dumb decision by that guy. But
yeah,
I
but if he
mean,
makes his living, if he
yeah, of course.
yeah,
There's spoilers kind of thing.
yeah, I'd be pissed if like he told the ending of.
If he actually
Borderlands 3.
supports the company, I don't think he should have been doing that. It sounds kind of malicious.
Yeah. Most of his videos are all about Borderlands anyways. He's a huge fan of it, but yeah, I just thought it was pretty funny. A lot of people now, like after he explained everything, a lot of people are pretty pissed off about it and don't want to support, you know, Gearbox or whatever. There's a lot of shit going on with Gearbox.
No, they're trying to protect early release stuff. Like it could make or break them.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Battlefront, right? With all the microtransactions.
Oh yeah.
That broke that game. Like
Yeah,
no one
someone
really
did the
wanted to
math.
buy it anymore.
Yeah, someone did the math and said it would take them like, I don't know how long to actually unlock one skin or whatever, or unlock Darth Vader as a playable character or something like that. And
Also, games make their money on pre-orders, right? So, like,
yeah, they would make their money on pre-orders, but I think most games, well, mostly EA, their way of making money is microtransactions. Their games now are basically turned into like phone games where it's just microtransactions after microtransaction. You know, that's
phone
how
games are
EA
great. We all want phone games.
Yeah, EA is the worst. I can't say enough about that.
I like the whole early access style. I actually prefer that. Like, just release it whenever. Like, surprise, it's early access. You know?
You mean like randomly?
Yeah, just randomly
Release
releasing it, not like 2020. Like, no, like just release it while you're working on it. People can play it, give feedback.
Kind of like
The game
Anthem,
gets better.
Yeah, but if you release a game that's in early access, you should probably have a price point of around like $40 or something, because it's not even close to being done. Like Anthem, when they did that, well, I guess Anthem, they did the Game Pass thing, but like a lot of people were saying like this game doesn't even feel finished. It feels like it's just basically an alpha still, and that game has gotten a lot.
Oh,
of
that
shit.
game did awful. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's playing it anymore.
Well, people have been waiting for a new update for the game because, you know, like they're excited to see if they can change Anthem up with, you know, the new updates and everything. And finally, the game released a new update this past week, and yeah, I guess the new update, like the new game mode and stuff that they added, like the end game stuff, is not worth it whatsoever. Like people are pissed. They're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done with this game now. And like the thing is that EA can't just shut it down because they promised that they would keep, you know, this game going. They would keep updating it, you know, adding new stuff. But like if they don't have any gamers, like anyone playing this game, like what's the point, right? I really think that if they can't get Anthem off, you know, from where they are now, I'm pretty sure BioWare, the people who developed it, are completely done now. They will be, that development team will be gone. BioWare will be dead. That is my thought process.
Very possibly.
Because Mass Effect 3 came out, did a horrible job. Or not Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect Andromeda. That game failed. Then they released Anthem really quickly. They rushed it. That game did really bad. And now they announced a new Dragon Age. And I doubt we'll even see Dragon Age come out. I think BioWare will be gone before then.
Oh, I people will be disappointed.
Yeah.
Good fan base on Dragon Age.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the news. That's it. It's a short week, but nothing new. Do you guys have anything else to say? Any new music? Any random stuff that you want to talk about? Evan, you still watching Stranger Things?
I haven't been, actually. I've been busy with other things. But
we started rewatching Black Mirror.
Yeah.
That's an interesting show. The first season, but I'm excited to watch season 2 though.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Evan, listen to the new Slipknot album.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I got a notification that it came out.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's. I think they're releasing those too often now, considering Slipknot took a break for like 8 years and then released the other one. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Everyone, that's gone. It's done. It's done.
Woo.
This podcast is over now. We went through the news. We talked about all the games. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to play next week. Evan beat Mega Man. Beat the first level.
I'm gonna beat Mega Man. I'm gonna at least beat the first level and talk about that. See how long it takes me.
Perfect. But yep, that's it.
See you next week, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week, Monday. Bye.